Very good morning to all. The outbreak of COVID-19 disease 2019 has created a global crisis. While discussing about the impact of this pandemic, we have to consider the major sectors, that is economic sector and educational sector. The impact of coronavirus in these two sectors has been largely disruptive. Here, the students of Wadi Rahma English School are going to present a panel discussion on impact of COVID-19 to education and to the economy. Myself, I am Abdul Basit, higher secondary school teacher, Wadi Rahma English School. Let me welcome our panel members, Pashwan, Afseen, class 12, Nawaf, class 12, Hafiz Anwar, class 12, and Arif Muhammad, class 12. Firstly, we can discuss about education sector. We know that schooling is the best tool to raise our skills. While schooling, we can be fun, we can raise our skill and social awareness also. But the entire world has some temporarily stopped or closed the all educational institutions in an attempt to contain the coronavirus disease. And there is no certainty when it will reopen. Now, Afseen is here. Afseen, what will be the challenges and educational opportunities in this sector? Afseen, please.
Due to lockdown, we are shifting from an offline learning culture to an online one. By doing so, we are changing a system that has been followed for many years. But to keep up with the world, we are going to have to go with the flow. So today I am going to talk to you about the challenges and opportunities we will get from online learning. The first challenge is that there's no direct contact between student and teacher. What this means is that the teachers and students don't meet face to face, and the teachers cannot assess the aptitudes and weaknesses of the student. So there won't be any personalized learning. The opportunity we can get from this is that the students can learn from anything, which is a very huge one. The second challenge is that previous methods of teachings cannot be used. Before the teachers come into the class, give notes, and we have to learn them by heart. But now we cannot do so because no one wants to stare at a screen for long unless it's a movie or something. The opportunity we can get from this challenge is that the teachers can make it more interactive by using the new platforms and doing quizzes and tests so that teacher can assess each student's aptitudes very quickly. The third challenge is that it will be very hard to maintain a schedule. An 8-hour schedule, no, 6-hour schedule is not possible in online learning, and teachers have lesser control over the students. The opportunity from this is that it is more convenient for the students as the classes may be recorded and they can learn at their own pace and take their time. The fourth challenge is that lack of interaction between students. It is the most biggest disadvantage of using online learning because the students won't have much interaction between them, and the friendships and all that they form, which will be helpful in the later years, will not be as good as offline learning. The opportunity is that the teachers can add more co-curricular activities which can be given to improve peer-to-peer relationships. Then the other problems are that health problems. For example, frequent usage of technology like mobiles, TVs, computers will result in eyesight problems, and if proper posture is not maintained, even back problems. The world is now more competitive than ever. The students have to be smarter and more adaptable to change. What I have to tell everyone is that every challenge is an opportunity, and it is our responsibility to exploit these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Afsin, for your comment on that. Now, when we are going to industrial sector, the shutdown of factories and the resulting delay in supply of goods from other countries has mainly affected our factories, means Indian factories or Indian manufacturers. And the employees are unable to present physically in the production site. And they are also facing lack of money too. Then what will be the road forward to the manufacturing sector? Nawaf, can you please comment on that?
First of all, I completely agree with the implementation of lockdown and all in our country. And also, without a lockdown, we can't defend the pandemic in our country. And one of the main sector that completely affected by the coronavirus and all is manufacturing sector. It is the one of the major pillar of an economy, and manufacturing will be among the industries to be most negatively affected by the evolving humanitarian crisis caused by COVID-19. We expect the pandemic to heavily disrupt both demand behavior as well as supply behavior and capabilities of companies to deliver goods to the market. As we speak, the drugs, just as China is seemingly recovering, the number of infected is quickly rising in Europe and the US, a trend which is expected to rapidly intensify in the weeks to come. And also, as per the sources and all, manufacturing industries has been hit in many ways due to the corona effect, to begin with lower production due to lower offtake. This takes a little longer to manifest itself, as some distributors sensing an opportunity to earn profits in a developing shortened situation tend to carry on with the sales, but with an extended schedule of deferred payments. Longer credit days are given by the producers, who is keen on continuing with the operation before a complete shutdown. And also, our India, one of the in manufacturing sectors, we have a standard position in the world. On the manufacturing industry, which contributes almost 20% of GDP. Of this, 50% is contributed by the auto industries. Even prior to the lockdown, the auto industry was not in great shape. The sales down by more than 15% and production cut off the order of 5 to 10% or more. As we speak, manufacturing sector, there are many stages and all. First stage is the production of the material inside the factory or a company. The first stage is we want to assemble the raw materials and all. By the way of importing and all, only we can assemble the raw materials. Due to lockdown, it is not possible. And second stage is production inside the factory with the employees and all. Also, the employees can't attend in the companies and factories for the production. And third one is we want to promote, we can't do that. And we can say we are completely, we can't do anything with the manufacturing sector. Only we can do that step by step, stage by stage, we can decrease the problem of this lockdown and all. Which means slowly, we want to recur the problems. And the many countries like China, they are recurring their problems and all after the pandemic. The good news in that China, after hitting a record low in February, has started reopening its factories, automotive OEMs, PSU to late March. Apple has reopened its all Chinese stores a month after shutting them down. In India also, after this big hitting of the coronavirus, we can stage by stage and step by step, we can recover this problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nawaf. Thank you very much for explaining the problems of this manufacturing sector. Now, when we are going to tourism industry, with large scale cancellation of travel plans by both for foreign and domestic tourists, there has been a drop inbound both inbound and outbound of the tourism since January as compared to the same period last year. And some statistics says that in this industry, few of them are going to insolvent. Hafiz, Hafiz is here. Hafiz, can you explain how the pandemic has affected tourism and hospitality industry?
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, first of all, I would like to begin with presenting a few facts. So, travel and hospitality industry would be the most affected of all because all the international and state borders are closed, not only of India, of the whole world. The travel and hospitality industry provides around 12.5% of the whole workforce of India. This is like of the total of direct and indirect of the providing of a workforce. And tourism is not only the highest job offering industry, but it's also the highest multiplicator of jobs, of providing jobs within India and outside India. And due to no transportation, all hotels are closed. And the city which never sleeps, New York, is under lockdown since 24th of March. And we like the statistics department have predicted a 10% of total GDP comes from the tourism industry, and this will be lost due to the pandemic. So next, I would like to say a few impacts of the coronavirus in India. Well, the 70% of the Indian workforce, which is the total is 5.5 crore workforce, and tourism industry makes around 3.8 of the workforce, and this would be lost. Like most of them would go unemployed, and which could lead to insolvency. Another thing is that the hospitality sector, which is predicted to have a drop of 4.7 billion in revenue. Like it's almost sloping down to zero. And the foreign tourist arrival in India have come down by 67% annually in the January-March quarter, while the domestic figure is over than 40%. The travel and tourism sector alone is accounted for 9.2% of India's GDP in 2018 and generated to 26.7 million jobs in that year alone. So I'm going to talk about the way forward for India. So India's travel and tourism industry has a huge growth potential. The tourism industry is also looking forward to expansion of e-visa scheme, which is expected to double the tourist inflow to India. India's travel and tourism industry has the potential to expand by 2.5% on the back of a high budgetary allocation and low-cost healthcare facilities. The next step is where all the action takes place. Once the outbreak of the virus is contained, the world is set to travel again. Any plan of reopening must be done keeping long-term benefits, safety and compliances in mind. Otherwise, the whole plan would be an utter failure. It is imperative that hospitality companies reach out to deferred and cancelled bookings and give due attention to domestic travelers. The report insists that hotels and airlines must slowly roll out their services than starting everything instantly and not to get caught up in spending. If they go ahead by this plan, I'm sure we are going to come out of the virus with a huge breakthrough, maybe better than before. That's all.
Thank you, Hafiz. Thank you very much for giving a deep insight about it. World Bank and rating agencies had initially downgraded India's growth for fiscal year 2021. And due to lockdown, we are facing a lot of economic problems here. And now we are losing lots of crores in a day. Our economy also facing reduced cash flow due to slowing economic activity. How we can boost our economy with economic packages and financial planning? Arif, can you please explain about that?
Yes, sir. Before knowing how to boost our economy, we should know about how our economic growth is measured.
Yeah.
It is measured by our gross domestic product, which is
Yes.
defined as the value of all goods and services produced in a country within a year. And many forces contribute to economic growth. Not a single factor is affected. There is no single factor that increases the economic growth. And in our country, it is very important for us to know how an economy grows so that we can help our economy to move forward. And in our country, economic growth is often driven by consumer spending and business investments.
Yeah.
For example, if a consumer is building home, construction workers and contractors will be experiencing economic growth. And the business drive economic growth when they raise wages or when they invest in big companies. And from the side of government, they are providing economic packages. This is to provide tax rebates and tax consumers so that these consumers will use that portion of money for investing in particular businesses so that business will attain profit. And having more cash with the company means that they have a scope to improve their technology so that they can grow and expand. And all of these actions will increase their productivity, which will increase the GDP of our country. And we can take the case of our country. And we all know that we are suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic. So our RBI governor has put forward some economic packages. These packages provide free food grains and a certain sum of money to jobless people during the lockdown period so that they can use it for their daily needs. And I saw an interview of Abhijit Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi. In that video, Abhijit Banerjee is saying that our country should introduce the stimulus packages like America and other developed countries. The idea behind the package is to provide tax rebates and boost spending. He also said that the best way to revive our country from this is to increase spending. For example, if Basitsar is an vegetable shop owner in a village, so none of the villagers have enough money to spend, so they are not buying any vegetables from your shop. So you are forced to close your shop and our GDP will decrease. And he also said that our PDS public distribution system is very poor. So we should improve our public distribution system so that people can buy food and non-food items from PDS in a subsidized price. And some other ways are to improve our economy is that our government can cut healthcare taxes and healthcare costs, etc. And we can provide some innovative ideas so that we can revive our economy. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Arif, for your very informative presentation. Now we can say that COVID-19 will change the way the world works, isn't it? Just like the Great Depression. With COVID-19 spreading rapidly in India, policymakers are worried about how to fight the virus and minimize its impact on economy and all other sectors. In addition to containing this spread of disease and support those are affected, policymakers have to prepare for a long-term challenges and opportunities that may arise when the crisis is over. This period is really challenging, and fighting against the challenges as an opportunity will definitely make us really competent. So keep fighting. Now, I think this COVID-19 will be the new door for a new world. Do you think so? Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for participating in this discussion. Thank you very much.